Let's get into the dailies that we have today. And don't forget also that the Portrait of Mama dinner is sponsored by Dano Milk. All right. Thank you, Dano, for coming on board. All right. We have the Ghanaian Times. We'll begin with that. And on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, government vows to do more. Veep assures at Eid prayers. All right. This is improving living conditions of Ghanaians. We have Asian African Consortium Partners, UCC, to boost grain production in Ghana. And absorb cancer treatment cost nationwide. Dr. Saki appeals to government. This whole conversation about cancer treatment and it not being as part of the NHIS is a very serious thing, especially the childhood cancers. That's the one that gets me. That's the one that really, really gets me, that it's not on healthcare system, and so people have to come out of pocket. And
exactly, and it's very expensive. It's very, very, very expensive.
Police nab cop for alleged fatal shooting of girlfriend. All right, that's it for the Ghanaian Times.
And on the Chronicles, the big one here is the leaked Galamsey report. Upon Nkrumah Ross says Frimpong Boateng is shifting the goalpost as the heart surgeon fires another salvo. Municipal Assembly. Market Queens honor Ejisu MCE. And how a pregnant woman's attacker escaped from jail at Manette Police Station. Wow. More cries for help as tidal waves ravage town. And $3 billion IMF bailout can be sourced from Western region.
Yes.
And that's Alan saying that.
Absolutely. Well, we have the resources, but how will we judiciously use them? Of course, raw material in the ground means nothing really. It's just your potential, where to start from. But what you do with it, is what makes all the difference at the end of the day. The Finder has these headlines. Primpag BOG Media Workshop didn't discuss Professor Frimpong Boateng. Division erupts among two individual bondholder groups. Standards Authority Board Chair, top official cited for contempt. We also have 44.6% of Ghanaians insured. Confidence in industry rises from 60 to 78%. And cumbersome insurance claim due to high incidence of fraud. Ghana and our fraud issues. Police arrest Kwame Atuasari and 3 others. Okay, so those are the headlines on the front page of The Finder.
Support Africa's transition to green energy, says Paul Chumberima. Razak Opoku explains why Ukraine's economy is recovering faster than most countries. Election 2024. Bawumia is the best to run Ghana. That's Kofi Bentil. And Ghana to lose $100 million in gold exports by end of April under Gold for Oil. GTA sponsors Africa Monologues Challenge. And the last one we have here is Frimpong Boateng shift goalpost on Upon Nkrumah allegation. And that is what we have for the New Crusading Guide.
All right. So from the New Crusading Guide, we come to the Daybreak. And the Daybreak has Frimpong Boateng returns fire on Gabi. And we have Atumol's luxury cars sold. Proceeds used for legacy project at a disco. And we also have here election 2024. I think Bawumia is the best to run Ghana. This is coming from Kofi Bentil. And Volta Chiefs welcome Abidjan Lagos corridor. All right.
On the Anchor, the big one here, wounded Frimpong Boateng strikes again. Well, he seems to be a star this week.
I know.
Wounded Frimpong Boateng strikes again, but fails to mention son's involvement in Galamsey menace. Wow. Akosa mainly supports Adentan Muslims. KGL demands review on taxes. KGL demands review of taxes on gaming and lottery. an Asian African consortium and UCC partner for rice production. And that's what we have for the anchor.
All right, I have the BNFT here, and on the front page of the BNFT it says, more diasporans buying homes, prospecting business opportunities. We have GSE PAPS partnership will propel market expansion. This is coming from analysts. And the petrodollar economy, gold for oil, not a nouveau, definitely not novel. And the tax implications of the debt exchange program. And then we also have, finally, the last two here, Asian African Consortium and UCC signed MOU to support rice production. And finally, the efficient regulations cushion utilities against shocks. So those are the headlines on the front page of the BNFT.
And
a few online stories?
Yeah. From Citi Newsroom. On Citi Newsroom, we have contractors threaten to sue government over unpaid debts. 76 Ghanaians to be evacuated from conflict-hit Sudan, says the government. And bond payment default. Government acted in bad faith. And that's by the individual bondholders.
I also have here, independent body must probe Galamsey report. Don't wish it away. Let me just quickly read a little bit from that story there. It says here, the convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining, Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, is suggesting to President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo not to downplay the Galamsey report authored by former Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Kobna Frimpong Boateng. Professor Frimpong Boateng, who is the former chair of the now defunct Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, in his report accused some stalwarts of the Akufo-Addo government of interfering in his Galamsey, that's illegal small-scale mining, fight or being engaged in Galamsey. The president in his response said claims in the report are a catalogue of grievances of Professor Frimpong Boateng and could be best described as hearsay. The president also tagged the document as not being an official report before cabinet, as it was submitted in an informal way. There have been a series of counter responses from both Professor Frimpong Boateng and persons indicted in the report. Now, sharing his views on the development on Eyewitness News on Citi FM, Dr. Ashigbe called on the presidency to weigh the merits of the claims and look into it no matter how it was presented. The convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining said the report is a test on the presidency to prove its willingness in the fight against Galamsey. And I quote, "My worry is more of the presidency's statement about the fact that it's not an official report from the former cabinet minister and chairperson of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Professor Frimpong Boateng. The people indicted in the report have denied the allegations. That is the right of those people. The illegal mining scare is a major thing. We cannot wish this report away. Even a report from a whistleblower should be enough for you to be able to deal with it." He added, for the presidency, whether it's a formal report or not, this is a former cabinet member making a report. And I think in whatever form, it is important that it's taken seriously as it ought. And the state, with all the powers, must investigate it. Take this seriously and look into it in such a way that those found culpable are punished. All right? And Dr. Ashigbe is pushing for an independent body to probe the report so that its findings can be taken to court for further prosecution. Now, the most important thing is we get an independent body to probe this. This time around, we make sure that its findings can be taken to court and the people found guilty are prosecuted for the wrongs done, he opined. He also charged the president to find a lasting solution to the Galamsey menace. The committee was given the power by the president to execute what it did. the tone of the presidency, I think, needs to be checked. This is a crisis that is taking us down as a country. And when you are in crisis and you get a report, you ask yourself how I should deal with it. The executive should be getting a proper committee, should be getting a proper committee, and should be independent of the current government so that it gets to the bottom of it. This is a test on the president, who has stated his resolve to fight galamsey. He maintained. So that's the story there. And I really couldn't agree more with Dr. Kenashigbe on this matter, because I think that right at the beginning of the presidency, the president did state clearly that even if he loses his presidency,
Right.
he's putting his presidency on the line to fight galamsey. And so when you have no mere person than the former chairperson of the interministerial committee, and as well as a former cabinet minister, that's no joke.
Yeah.
Put together a report. I think it's unfortunate to just reduce it to it wasn't presented formally to cabinet, and therefore it's
it's meaningless.
It's meaningless.
Yes.
Well, yes, it's virtually meaningless, and then its contents are just hearsay.
Yes.
I don't think that's the approach the president should be taking.
Exactly. It's a bit problematic and it's a bit biased.
Yeah, I don't think that's the
so I actually agree that he
well,
needs
it's
to,
his prerogative, but I really wish he had taken a more a stance that appeared to have more gravity,
right?
Than just to discard it like that. Yeah.
Well, we never know. As everybody's talking about it now, maybe it's an issue that he would probably look into.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Because this is an issue that affects a lot of people.
It's
in different ways. Your health, the economy,
ruining
people's livelihood and all that. So it's something that should look at.
It's literally ruining the country. And so again, one may ask the question: where is the fight against galamsey? The entire presidency was put on the line for this, but in practical terms, we haven't seen as much commitment as we should have.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking sometimes it's very important that some issues should be treated out of the context of my party, your party. It's Ghana.
Yeah, I think
it's all about the people, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
you understand? So the whole, because it's my party people that you're calling, I'm not going to look at it. It's a problem.
Yeah.
So, really, apart from this, I really think some issues have to be about Ghana and not just, party politics.
And I think that we need to become bigger people, in the sense that you never hear people apologizing. You never hear people retracting. You never hear people
taking responsibility
for mishaps and for things gone wrong.
No accountability. That's the thing.
Yeah,
there's no accountability.
It's always trying to defend and trying to support the status quo or the position that makes you absolves you of wrongdoings, and we always see that. We don't see the other side where people say, you know what, there's something, we're not sure where this is going, but we will investigate it, we will set up a committee, we'll take a look at this, and and if it's wrong, people will be held accountable. We don't see that happening.
We
much.
lack accountability.
We don't
That's
see
the
that
problem.
much, Anyway, well, it's time for sports, so don't go anywhere. Sports is next. All right, well, it's a morning full of sports on the Premier League on Citi. So let's give you those stories now. Now, Tottenham have sacked acting head coach Christian Stileni and replaced Ryan Mason and put Ryan Mason in charge following the club's 6-1 thrashing at the top four rivals Newcastle. Now, the Italian stepped up from his role as assistant coach to replace Antonio Conte since the end of the season when Conte left the club at the end of March. Now, until the end of the season when Conte left the club at the end of March. Now, but it has not seen an improvement in results, with Spurs 6 points adrift of the Champions League places. Now, Mason will take charge for a second time, having also acted as interim head coach in 2021 following the sacking of Jose Mourinho. Now, it's interesting. He's always coming in, Ryan Mason, he's always coming as a stand-in, for a season. And then whilst they figure themselves out, then they'll bring another coach. Well, the next one is on Chelsea. Now, Chelsea are in advanced talks to make former Tottenham boss, Mauricio Pochettino, their new manager. Now, Tottenham doesn't want Pochettino, and Chelsea says we'll take him. Now, the Argentine, whose most recent job was at Paris Saint-Germain, is keen on the role, but more negotiations will take place before any deal is finalized. Chelsea want a quick resolution and believe they are at the end of the process as they search for a permanent replacement for Graham Potter. Now, Pochettino will take over from interim manager Frank Lampard. Finally, on Premier League on Citi, Arsenal defender William Saliba is expected to miss Wednesday night's crucial Premier League clash against Manchester City with his back injury. Now, Gunners manager Mikel Arteta will give an update on Saliba's condition in his pre-match news conference on Tuesday amid fears the French defender could miss the rest of the season. Arsenal are assessing his condition on a daily basis, but it appears the trip to the Etihad Stadium will come too soon. Saliba has missed Arsenal's last 5 games after coming off injured against Sporting Lisbon in their Europa League tie last month. And that's where we end the sports review this morning.